Hello everyone, my name is Himanshi and I'm an acrylic artist with more than 4 years of experience. Do check out my work on my Instagram page @creativeness. Talking about today's workshop, we will be creating this very beautiful artwork today. So let's get started with the material first. So here I will be using a canvas, stretched canvas of 12 inch. It's a round stretched canvas. Today I will be using Camel Artist Acrylic Colours with 24 shades. Okay. Then we have Camel Mix Artist brushes. Okay, so as you can see, the painting consists of different elements, like we have the moon, the mountain, this tent and the campfire over here. So in the sketching part, what I will be doing is, firstly I will be placing the tent. The tent is somewhere over here, okay, more than half of the canvas over here. So for making the tent, what you have to do is, let's make a triangle first. So here's the triangle. Since it's a cloth, so you don't have to make an exact triangle, just make some random folds. Okay. So this is basically a rough sketch only to get an idea where the elements would be. Okay, the sky is very colorful and we need multiple shades over here. So let me take the color over the palette. So I will be using Prussian blue color, will be used over the edges. As you can see, the edges are dark. Here I have used some mauve effect also. So for that I will be using mauve along with white color. Now for the lighter shades, cobalt blue. You can also go for phthalo turquoise, and in case you don't have all these shades, you can just mix and match the shades of blue. So I have taken all the shades of blue over here in my palette, and also I will be using white color for the lighter shades. Okay, a flat brush of size 8. So let's start with Prussian blue. Okay, as you can see, the edges are darker, so I will start with Prussian blue first. You can use multiple shades of blue, as I have mentioned. Whatever shades is available with you, it would work. Okay, we can have different skies. Once we have done the edges, now it's time for cobalt blue. Okay, just mix the cobalt blue with the Prussian blue. And make sure that you just blend the color with the nearby area. Okay. Also, you can use sap green too for the sky. Okay, a very small amount of sap green, and add some random patches over here. Okay, and somewhat over here, and mix it with the blue color that's on your canvas. Okay, so I'm using Prussian color for the mountains. Okay, just fill in the color. You don't have to do any stuff over here, just give the base color first. Okay, okay, so as you can see over here, the edges are very dark. So here we will be using the shade of brown and black, and over here where we have our bonfire, the shade is comparatively lighter in color. So here we will be using burnt sienna. Okay. Okay, once we have added black over the base, now I will be adding burnt umber and mixing both the shades. Okay. The technique is very simple. All you have to do is blend in the black and the brown color. Okay, and you need to keep the base very dark in color. All right, so that when we create that stone and all those stuff, we need to add the lighter shades and it would be visible. Otherwise, if you have painted the base light and you will be creating the stone and all in the lighter shade, it will be very difficult to differentiate. Alright, so as I have mentioned, we want this area near the tent to be lighter in color, and therefore I will be using burnt sienna over here. So this is the very first layering. We will be adding multiple colors, okay, once our base is ready. And just blend all the colors, okay. The colors shouldn't be visible, like just blend in with each other. Now let's get back over the sky and let's add some more lighter shades, okay, and the moon. Okay, so once we have created our sky, let's paint a moon over here. For the moon, you can see I have used lemon yellow color, a bit of white and a bit of orange, okay. So I'm taking lemon yellow and a bit of orange in my palette over here. Okay, so here I want my moon to be, and just draw our outline. We need to let the color dry out first, otherwise the paint won't be visible. So I'm just marking the boundary and letting the color dry first, and then we will be painting the moon, okay. So for adding highlights to our mountain, as you can see, we have to add highlights over here. Alright, so I'm using cobalt blue over here, and I'm just adding some random patches over here, and I'm adding patches over this area only, okay. So just add the patches over one side of the mountain only, okay, because the light is falling on the one side and we need to highlight this area only. Alright, so once you are done with adding the highlights, we need to add one more layer of highlight. For one more layer, you can either mix white color with your cobalt blue, or you can go for cerulean blue. Since I have cerulean blue, so I won't be mixing it with white, and I will be using cerulean blue directly, okay. And if you feel that you have added a lot of light shade, then you can just go for the darker one. Alright, and just merge it with the lighter shade again. So here I am just adding random patches of lemon yellow, as you can see. Also I will be using white color as well for these patches, and you don't need to blend both these colors, you just add some patches and let it be, okay. Also I will be using a very small amount of orange color and blend all the colors like this, okay. For this tent I will be using burnt sienna, burnt umber and shades of orange and yellow. Also I will be using a very small amount of raw sienna as well. So I will be starting with permanent orange, okay, over here. Since it includes a lot of drapery work, okay, so what you have to do is first paint the base with orange color. You can also add a small amount of yellow over here, okay, and just blend both the colors. And over the bottom area I will be using darker shade or burnt sienna just to create the shadow part. For the campfire, so for that I will be using a small amount of Scarlet Lake color, okay, along with the orange shade, okay. So what you have to do is you have to simply add small amount of Scarlet Lake over here, okay, over the end portions, okay. Also adding a small amount of highlight over here Okay, since the base is drying over here, let's move to the next part. Now we have to create this pine trees, as you can see. For this I will be using sap green color. I want the top part to be very pointed. It should be somewhat like a triangular shape. Okay, and gradually you can increase the width of it. Alright. I will be using sap green for the highlights. Okay, so I'm adding small amount of sap green over the black color base that I have created first. Okay, and just extend it towards the bottom like this. Now the base of the moon is also dried, so let's work on the moon again. Okay, so I will be adding some small amount of white color. Alright, so I'm just creating a clean edge and just adding some random patches of lemon yellow and white. Okay, so here I have lemon yellow and white in my brush, and I'm just adding few random patch like this. Okay, also I will be using a very small amount of orange and just mixing it with the background colors. So our tent is almost dried up, so let's add the details over here. This portion, over this portion I will be using orange color and creating highlights. So once we are done with the orange part, let's add some yellow color. So I have lemon yellow here. So what you have to do is just take a bit of lemon yellow and start adding the highlights. Okay, and once the highlight is almost added, you can see that glowing effect in our campfire. Okay, I would be just darkening this area. Okay, so here I will be using burnt sienna. For making the bonfire, what I will be doing is I will be using black color again for creating that sticks and add few lines. Okay, so I'm just adding few lines like this. I hope you can see. So once the black color is dried, let's add some highlight. For the highlight, I will be using burnt sienna. Okay, and for the highlight, what you have to do is you have to just add a single line over here. Okay, you don't need to color the whole block. You just need to add one random line like this. Okay, so once we have added burnt sienna, let's add small amount of raw sienna as well over some of the areas. Okay, so for fire, what I will be using is I will be using permanent orange and creating a small shape like this. So for creating the stone, what I will be doing is I will be using, as you can see here, we have some random patches of raw sienna as well as some orange color. So what you have to do is you have to take some amount of raw sienna. Okay, define the shape of your stone. Like I want my stone to be somewhat over here. All right, add some random patches. Okay, and you can use multiple color, like as you can see I am using burnt sienna as well as raw sienna. Okay, also you can see that we have a tree over here, so let's draw that. For that I will be again using burnt umber and raw sienna and black color. So here I am using black color and drawing a curved line. Okay, So once our trunk is ready, just add highlights using burnt sienna and small amount of raw sienna, okay. For the branches I will be again using burnt umber. Just create some branches and you can just overlap the branches over the moon as well, okay. You can add raw sienna for the highlights, okay. And the base of the fire has also dried up, so let's paint the fire again. Now we will be adding yellow to it, alright. So I'm just creating a basic shape of the fire and filling in the colors. So once we have filled lemon yellow over here, let's wait for the color to dry up and then we will be adding small amount of white color over here, alright. Also we will be adding some flowers over the branches of the tree, okay. So here I am using orange color and just randomly adding few dots, okay. I don't want my tree to be dense, so I will be just making small dots, okay, using Scarlet Lake, and then I will be adding highlights using permanent orange, okay. So as you can see, I'm just adding few of the dots over here and there, okay. So now let's add few highlight using orange color. Let's add some grasses, okay. So for the grass I will be using sap green color and I will be mixing lemon yellow in it, and use the thinnest brush that you have for the grass, okay. Just taking lemon yellow and adding few patches over here, okay. And you need to add a very small amount of white in the middle area, okay, and just merge it with the lemon yellow, okay. Alright, so our painting is almost complete. This is how it will turn out, okay. So I hope you enjoyed painting this and you had a great time learning, and do tag @Kokuyo Camlin and @Creative Nest. We will be very happy to share all your recreations. Meet you in the next workshop. Bye bye.